Mike's on. Oh ja.
Hallo, herzlich willkommen hier auf der Boot 2024. Wir machen eine kleine Vorstellung zu der BRABUS 1000, aber vor allem freue ich mich tierisch, hier bei mir zu haben Tom Montgomery Swan, mehrfacher Powerboat Champion und auch Mercury Racing Ambassador. Und den Ganzen machen wir natürlich in Englisch, dass wir hier ihn, also sonst wäre es ein Monolog, wir wollen ja vor allem einen Dialog hinbekommen. Und just starting in English, thank you for coming. And giving me some update, what I probably should even know as a sales guy, but I want some more insight on that engine. We had been the big pleasure to drive this beast at my place for 2 days. You did it for 2 days, I did it maybe 3 or 4 times, and you did all the final setup on this boat with these engines, because normally you would just say it's 450, it's before been built, I don't know, 100 times. So why was there any change needed just for this 100 horsepower more? Normally you would just say, there's nothing to be changed. So what is so different on these engines, and what have you done at our place to make this to become like a new weapon of BRABUS?
I mean, as we both have experienced, she's an absolute missile, and but so safe as well. So we had a great starting platform, didn't we, with the 900 as a great base to then build upon further. And with the 500R, there are a couple of distinct changes over the 450. So we have 26% more boost pressure.
Okay.
And we have a larger throttle body. So that gives you that mid-range torque that's like nothing else. It accelerates like a real sports car. But the 4.6 litre supercharged engine, it's not just, as you say, another 100 horsepower. The gearbox has been completely redesigned, the midsection is different, and with the new racing drive, we're able to throw up to 17 pitch propellers.
So the racing drive, just for me to describe, it is slimmer, slicker, it's almost slimmer, slicker, it has less drag.
Yeah, so it's an take a standard drive to something that's on here. They're designed to be far more hydrodynamic. The water pickup is lower, so we're able to be more streamlined, but we're able to run up to 17-inch propellers. It's a 1.60 ratio, so we have better range to play with, and these engines rev up to 6,600. Okay. So we have a lot more to play with to dial the boat in.
I remember when we were playing with it, my guys, found or with you a setup where we thought this boat is driving good. You said by far not. We need to rise another 6 or 8 centimeters. Where we said, but then it's like a surface drive, and this is more or less what you were aiming a little bit, not surface drive, but you want. So these engines can only really perform if the propeller gets certain amount of air, and these underwaters work then on a different level. And this is what when we started, the boat was like at 63 knots. So you gained, with your experience, another 4 knots in these 2 days of work without, really rapidly, there was no different propellers or whatever, it was just the right height, the right position of the engines. But you also implemented then something which we have never had at BRABUS before, which comes a little bit out of your experience of the race boat driving.
So I chatted to you and to Yanni and to Konstantin, and we wanted to bring in some of that BRABUS DNA of where they will work the suspension and the brakes and the tyres package. So if you think, when you go down that design of wanting to...
You can, what if you take the phone, then there, you see when now it's active, now what the people see what you show.
So essentially, think of our setup here like a Porsche or a Mercedes with really decent tyres and suspension. You wouldn't have cheap or poor quality items to really maximize the performance. So here, what we've done is we've tried to pair really great engine package with a really good hull design and integrate it in a very clever way. So what we've done here for the first time is added these custom BRABUS lifters. So you'll see here that there is BRABUS branding on either side of the lifter, and this gives that personalized customization touch. But from a mechanical point of view, we have a setup here which is really, really good. So what this does is it makes the engines run in cleaner water.
So you bring them further out?
Yes, essentially. So by bringing them further out, we can run the propellers in cleaner, non-disturbed water from the hull profile, but that allows us also to be able to raise the engines higher. And when we raise them higher, we gain more speed because we're hydrodynamically more efficient. Now you can keep going and you can get those big rooster tails like all the race boats. We don't want to achieve that. We want a happy medium.
Yeah, because what we don't want on the Brabus, sorry to say, we don't want to have a race boat.
No.
We want to have like the fastest boat, which we can drive safely.
As a big GT.
As a big GT, like family race boat, like family GT. Yeah, like really,
exactly.
really fast, cruising of 50 knots plus, but safe and not, you know, super aggressive, nervous, frightening people. You know, a wrong driver could, you know, make something wrong or frighten all the guests on board.
Exactly. So our role on at your facility was to really fine-tune the boat to create a really nice, happy, safe, fast, sporty drive, but that still you felt you could take all your family on and have a really comfortable journey, and it's going to look after you still and not do anything unpredictable or tricky, which a lot of race boats do. So we didn't want that. So we've dialed the engines in to really optimize the gearbox. Now, with the gearbox, the new design of the gear case, it gives actually quite a lot of stern lift. So we've been able to give more bow lift as well by moving the center of gravity aft, lifting the nose slightly, so the overall balance of the 37 hull is improved as well.
Or improved stays or even
yeah.
improved, okay.
So we're able to move that wetted surface on the hull slightly more aft, optimize the step design in the hull a little bit more, but still maintain the cornering ability which we experienced on your river.
So yeah, I was this was, you know, this part of the river I have been driven probably 1,000 times. We call it our small laboratory because it's good for such kind of testing because the conditions never change. You know, you hardly have no wind. The current is normally very little because it's just behind dammed. So it's a very like a pool where you can test, but the limit is the width. So for certain maneuvers, we don't want to talk too much about it because we were on some limits with this weapon as we said. So yeah, you achieved like I think 67 on the counter here. I think you did a loads of protocoling with you had a black box installed on the boat on all the testing, and you even reached I think in this one even 68 or 69 knots, but this was perfect conditions. The boat was very clean, light, but I think we can aim for that boat in generally probably reaching 65 knots for a normal setup of a customer should be aimable, or what do you think?
Yeah, so we drove her light on fuel, engines right up, playing with propellers, 69 knots. Now, what we've done as a production here is then dialed it a little bit way back because also you're going to want to have it in a sea. You want it to be drivable. If you have the propellers too high, you're going to just be going and over revving and things like that as well. So you need that grip and that bite as you re-enter the sea. So we've worked out a really nice setup that is a good all-rounder for everybody, is nice and drivable, and will be a true 65 knot boat. But you've got all the beautiful interior as well. This isn't a race boat. This is a boat that you can go and enjoy.
Absolutely not. But absolutely, with which boat you can drive this 50 knots cruising for maybe an hour or two is with this cabin, enclosed cabin.
Totally.
Because you're like a car. And I remember if Tom would be here now, like the other Tom, the Tom from Mallorca. I remember last year there was an event of Brabus in Düsseldorf. And we were with two Brabus boats there, one 900 Suntop and one 900 cross cabin. And he and Phil had the positive work to bring these boats back to Traben from Düsseldorf, and they were driving them into the sunset on the Rhine. The Rhine is free speeding, as we know, and they were running a cruising up the Rhine of 45 knots to 50 knots cruising. And just Tom was sitting inside, relaxing, just making videos to his son, and it was like, what else to do? Yeah,
exactly.
So this is very unique. There's not many boats. You know, you have a probably better market overview than I have even, but I think there's not many boats like this on the market where you can do that high cruising speed, that comfortable, where also the hull is so well designed that it's made. Because the 37 hull was already in the design. We're going to talk with Jakob and Janne tomorrow a little bit of the hull designs and so on, but this boat design, this hull was from the start being designed to be being a 900 or being 1,000. 1,000 probably was not known at this time, but the boat in general the hull is planned for that speed. And I think this is very similar what we all said here now it be somehow transferred with your input, with the input of these lifters, of these specially made very strong lifters for the Brabus. This is going to be also on the, it's not here installed yet, but it will be on this boat. When the boat hits the water the first time, we will have a similar setup on the Brabus 1200, which will then also bring most likely the boat even on a higher speed level that we experienced so far.
It's all about tailoring the package to be able to really get the most out of the engines and perform brilliantly with this hull. We have a great hull already, and it's that marriage of marrying those two things together. And at your facility, you've got the best engineers, the best mechanics. Hey, listen, I've gone to lots of different places, and you've got the perfect setup for us to be able to test these things. And the triple install with the 1200, yes, with the lifter package as well, we're able to adjust these engines up and down and really fine tune our setup. You mentioned earlier about data loggers. The data logger that we run is from a Le Mans LMP race car. So we're able to really look at all the different parameters and really dial in so that when a customer gets this, they've already got something very special in the rest of the Brabus range, but now we're just elevating things even further, and we're bringing in a lot of automotive technology into that to really harness that Brabus brand.
Very nice, great. Again, about the engine itself, for an owner, it's to use like a normal Verado. Is there, like, because there's the service intervals are the same.
Yeah.
So it's nothing a customer should be afraid of. He's not buying something crazy where he has to have a service every 10 hours or something. What maybe sometimes is connected to racing means it breaks very fast or whatever. So this is not Mercury Racing. Mercury Racing, these Verado-based engines is like an engine like any engine else. You just treat it well and it will hold.
Exactly. So these are made in the Mercury Racing facility. They have been obviously programmed to be extremely reliable, and the gearboxes, etc., are very, very strong. So you've seen throughout the last couple of years, especially from the American market, how these big go-fast cats and stuff, they're running these, and the application there is that customers don't have to worry about these big racing inboards anymore. They can run these all day long, as hard as anything, and they're going to really look after them. So these are the perfect application to go into a big fast GT like this, where they're going to get really decent supercar performance, but they can just turn the key and not worry about it.
Yeah, that's what we experienced so far. We're having some boats in Mallorca where owners really put some hours on them. Like I think the boat, which are also getting a 1200 now, it's a Suntop camouflage Suntop, which has been on many pictures. You saw that maybe also lying in Mallorca. I think they're having 250 or 300 hours. They never had any issues. So it's like a daily usable engine as any other engine as well.
Exactly.
And when you put it on the, so it's this switch you have as on the Verado, when you put it loud, it is even a little bit, more, it sounds a little bit more powerful than a normal Verado, but if you put it on silent mode, it's silent. Yeah?
Exactly. I would say also though that with the lifters, once you get up onto plane with the sports exhaust open and the fact that we've raised everything up as well, you do get a little bit more of a sporty exhaust bark when you're driving it hard, and that's nice. That's in line with the true Brabus brand.
Yeah, and what I like on the 450 already is this little compressor noise. I think it's this is like this high pitched noise, but it's not going in your nerves. But it's really, it's for me the real for me it's on the boat world, it's the Brabus noise for me. Even if it's a Mercury engine, we all know, but this high pitched extra noise, which you only has the 450, and the 500 has it even a little bit lower. A level of like a little bit deeper noise, but it's still there on a very, very nice level.
Constantine makes a car that's I think he calls the Brabus Rocket, which is got 900 horsepower or so, or 1,000 horsepower, but it's beautiful inside and you can use it on the Autobahn all day long. This really is kind of a true version of that. You've got incredible horsepower, that supercar handling, that reliability, but you've got all of the beautiful finishings and the luxury around you as well, haven't you?
Absolut, absolut. Gibt es irgendwelche Fragen, irgendwas?
No.
So no questions. Anything else? I went through the boat yesterday, so I don't think we need to point out anything. Anything else we should name about the engine? Shall we just look once to the 1200?
Yes, of course.
Because it's
We
a
had
video.
a question
Yeah.
on a video we launched already. Maybe you can repeat it because I'm on the mic.
Yeah.
Is the hull, especially for the engines prepared instead of compared to the hull of the normal.
Normal 37. The complete hull is same. We're just talking
Just
about.
repeat-
So
just repeat
if that's very often because many people want to put 450s because you can buy them normally or 500s on a normal Axopar 37, which is first of all kind of illegal because you don't have a CE certification for that. Then I get the answer of customers, yeah, but I can do my own CE certification. Yes, you can. This is all possible, but in the end, you can also buy yourself a 3 class BMW, buy yourself an M3 after a crash, take the engine out and put it into the 3 class, but you still don't have an M3 afterwards. You still have a 3 class BMW with an M3 engine, and this is a little bit the same here. So it's not.
I would add into that as well that the rigging plan from scratch is different. So rather than just having an Axopar 37 and bolting a huge amount of power onto it, the rigging plan, the weight distribution, the things that we have done on the transom end.
That's right. The transom is different. So the hull not designed, but the transom.
Exactly. So everything is considered through the build, so that it ends up a very different vessel.
Also, there's some more noise reduction paint in the hull, for example, to be comfortable at higher speeds. So there's several detailed stuff done. So you can put me blind into a 37 cabin or in a 37 900, in a BRABUS 900, and I can immediately tell you at 30 knots in which boats I'm sitting, because there's beside this noise from the engine I described before, this sound from the engine, it's a complete different feeling. It's a much lower noise level, and there's so many details which bring it there. It's even the leather inside, because this is more damping the noise. So there's very many different aspects which made the BRABUS 900 out of an Axopar 37. And this BRABUS sizing, you can even see more on the 1200 because there's more room inside. So by the leather, but also here we're having a similar setup when we have 3 Mercury racing engines. These are now sitting just bolted, but they were going to also have your how you call them, lifters? Or
so they're now a complete custom BRABUS lifter designed by myself and a friend of mine, Sean Toronte in America, that's a world-renowned offshore racer. So by doing the setup, we can change all the different heights accordingly.
We have some friends need to, so the boat show is soon, it ended already, 6:20.
So just to repeat, we have different height configurations that we can run on our lifter through the dial-in. So for a triple install, that's really good, especially for the center engine.
Yeah, because the middle engine is very difficult to find in the right height. So I think the Dutch guys over there with their very slow, boring boat, they need loud music to compete with us here. So I think that was it anyway from the BRABUS 1000. Tom, thank you for your time.
No worries.
I hope to see you soon to final configure this one in Traben, and then later on both boats to do a final setup at sea in Mallorca.
Yeah.
You're always very welcome there. You've been there.
Yeah.
You've been in our wee boat club. You've been using some boats.
Great setups out of Calanova.
Hello. See you there. Thanks a lot
Thank you very
again.
much.
Danke fürs Zuschauen.